Okay, welcome if you are joining me for this class. We'll be discussing the questions that we have in the Telegram group. The class is just starting and I'm recording the class so that we can share it with those that eventually did not make the class. Now, weekend review. I call this weekend review. Every weekend, every Saturday, we come together and discuss whatever questions we have. Now, the questions we have from the Telegram group, the questions we currently have: what is the recommended spacing between two raised beds? Is raised bed for all plants? Now, I'm going to use some illustrations to describe it. Please let me know if you can hear me right there. Just put it in the chat box as I continue the class. Now, raised bed gardening is a form of farming in which the soil is raised above ground level and usually enclosed in some way. It's when you understand the reason why we do raised bed, then you'll be able to understand, you'll be able to, even yourself, be able to deduce, okay, this is centimeter I want, or this is the meters I want. It is not written in gold. You can design yours. Okay, so the advantages of raised bed is that they prevent soil compaction and plant damage, and then they protect the structure provide from foot traffic. I'm going to show some illustration with that. Now, look at this diagram here. This is where the idea of raised bed come up. The idea of raised bed is that, okay, where you want to plant, you want the roots of your plant to go into the soil. You don't want that place, you want a loose soil. The roots of the plant will start pushing the soil and going inside the soil to search for nutrients. And it must be somewhere that is very free and loose. That is where the idea of raised bed come off started from people that are doing gardening. As in, you see the way they put the soil in a box that is raised, it's already not on the level. See where they are walking right here. They are passing through this place. It means it's being compacted, it's pressed on. Then any nutrients here will be compressed. Any microorganisms, earthworms, anything that is there will be compressed. But on this place, this one in the box, the soil has been raised. And because the soil has been raised in the box, they will not be compacted. Any living things inside this box will stay longer because nobody is stepping on them, nobody is pressing them down, nobody, you understand what I mean? That's the idea of raised bed. But now, because we are not doing gardening, we are doing farm, and as a big space, this is for gardeners, people that are using gardening. Then the idea comes, gradually to, okay, you cannot use boxes. This is the idea, another idea of raised bed. It's now on a straight line. If you are using drip irrigation, or you are using or you are using anything, this is the idea of the raised bed. But still, this means you are using hand, as in manually doing it. So there are machines. I'm sure in one of the classes, you've read about machineries that are used to make raised bed. Yes, they are raised. You can do raised bed on a large scale. You attach it to the tractor and you do the raised bed on a large scale. So these are where raised bed ideas develop. See, now it is coming. Now, the space between two raised beds is determined by you. Like on my farm, I use 40 centimeters from this space to this space. From here, from this end of this bed to the end of this bed, I use 40 centimeters. Some places, so I use 40 centimeters. Some places, in some places, you're supposed to decide what you use by yourself. Like in Market Gardener, I copy this idea from Market Gardener. And in Market Gardener, it means, in Market Gardener, they use 25 centimeters. But right here, I'm using 40 centimeters on my own bed. So it's left for you to decide what space do you want to leave. If you are following my space and you are using 40 centimeters, you will have this straight line. From here to here, 40 centimeters. From here to the other side or the end of the bed, I use 160 centimeters. So it means I use 2 meters for a bed, 2 meters each for a bed. 2 meters. So inside my 1 acre, I used to have 80 raised bed. That is how I designed my bed. Rogba. Okay. That's how I design my beds. Okay. Now, see this person. It depends on what you want. It's not made in gold. It's not written in gold. Like I said, I copied the idea from Market Gardeners, and Market Gardeners are using 25 centimeters in between footpaths. But for me, I deduced and I was using 40. So you can choose what you want, but I use 40 centimeters. Okay, now the second question. What's the accurate measurement for the foot part? I've answered that just now, the foot part. 10, can they put us to the nutrient the crops need in different stages of their growth? Okay, now, as roots begin to develop and spread, plants need a boost of quick absorbed, well-balanced nutrients. Nitrogen is most important for plants when their energy is directly into growing stems and foliage. Full-grown plants need extra phosphorus during the transition to the blooming stage. Now, I'm going to explain some of the stages, briefly explain some of the stages, and then you'll be able to understand it. Now, this is the plant growth stages. I split it in a better form. Now, the sprouts, this is the seedlings. When you just put the seed inside the soil, it's very tiny. And at that point, each seed contains small parcel of nutrient that is all need to germinate and begin growing their first pair of leaves. So this is the sprout. It has not gotten anything, it's just very tiny. This is because when you are starting, if you follow the raised bed system or you follow the land preparation, I'm sure you've come across the land preparation class and the raised bed system class. In those classes, you will see how we attach, how we apply nutrients to the soil. So those nutrients you apply, this sprout that is starting, start using the nutrient from the beginning. It starts with it, and that is one. Then the second stage you get across is the seedling. It's no more a sprout. It has come out from the soil. It's not having two leaves. As plant roots develop and spread, a boost of quickly absorbed, well-balanced nutrients fuel the rapid growth from spindly seedling to healthy plants. That is why your soil is very important. I'm sure we took a part where we deal intensively with soil. There's a part in the class where we deal intensively with soil. Soil is very important. Forget, it's not about you having 100 acres or 100 hectares of land, but it's about you knowing how to build the soil that will build your nutrients. It is the soil that will give you yield, not the number, not the quantity, the size of your farm. No, it is the soil. It is your soil that will produce healthy crop, and it is the healthy crop that will now give you good yield. So I'm putting you through the stages. Please, if you miss the class, you can watch the video all over again. So this is seedling. And then the next stage, vegetative. From the seedling, it starts having different leaves and everything. We call it this vegetative stage. Nitrogen is a key component of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the process, chlorophyll is during photosynthesis. It's the process by which plants produce their own food. I'm sure in reproduction in plants, in one of the classes, we've come across this. That's why I know when you are starting this class, you look, hey, what is all this she's telling us to read and all these things. These are very important if you want to have yield. And the essence of you starting a farm is to have bountiful harvest. If you want to have bountiful harvest, please, you can go through some of the classes again. Please go over them again. Understand what your plant needs. It is what your plant needs that will give you yield, that will give you increase in crop. So nitrogen is a key component of chlorophyll. I'm attending to the questions that say the nutrients you need at different stages. A component of chlorophyll, the green pigment in plants. So it's the critical nutrients when their energy is focused on growing stalks and foliages. It's like your house. When you want to build your house, you need foundation. If your foundation is not strong, your house will quickly collapse. So you need a foundation. Likewise, the soil plus building the nutrients in your soil. If you don't build the plants very well, you will not get good yield. If you plant maize, if there's no good soil or no good whatever, your maize stock will be small. If your tomato, your fruit will be small. Anything you are planting, if the soil is not properly managed, you are not going to get a good result. So these are the stages. It's a question I'm attending to. Then the budding stages. In this stage, you find that there are different flowers that are coming up. It's in different leaves. You start dropping some leaves and picking some leaves. At this stage, you need phosphorus. Phosphorus is in extra high demand at the start of a plant reproductive cycle. The transition from growing leaves to forming buds. Yes, they finished, they are growing leaves, now they start forming buds. It's from that bud that flowers and everything will start growing. So you need phosphorus more at this stage. And flowering stages, potassium plays a primary role in producing and transporting the sugars and starches plants use up as they develop healthy flowers and fruits. So now you see where we use the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium. But for me, I advise when you are starting your farm, the first thing is make sure you have the composted manure from the beginning, so that at each stage is when the plant needs them, they'll just pick it. They are not just starting to look for it, because they will not tell you when they will start flowering. Plants will not tell you when they will start vegetative stages. They will not tell you what, you know. So if once you fill your soil and your soil is properly built, then you get this without having much stress. All you need is giving them water. And the fruiting stages, you see, at this stage, you see people looking for things to add. They want to put this, they want to put that. But unfortunately, at this stage, you don't need anything. When flowers and fruits are verging on full maturity, they need a week or two of just water without nutrients, a process known as flushing. So they can use up all the nutrients they have absorbed already. At fruiting stages like this, you don't need any extra nutrient for the plant. You should have applied your nutrient from the beginning. So if you have done that, you don't need to run around. You don't need anything there. You just need to keep giving it water. You can see it's a stage called flushing. And that place, you don't need any nutrients. They'll be able to absorb all the nutrients they've taken, the phosphorus, the nitrogen they've been taking from the days back. So these are stages where you need all the nutrients. I have answered that question. So the next question said, is 4 to 50 kg per tomatoes plant achievable under the open system? Yes, very, very, very achievable. And what grab practices are required to make it possible? There's at least in this class, there are 2 tomato class. There's a dry season tomato planting, and then there's a tomato planting class, which put us through the stages. So please watch out for it. We'll soon get to that class. For tomato, yes, tomato planting. The next question, is it advisable to pay my farm workers with their local currency? With their local currency, considering the unstable Naira? Honestly, it is not advisable. Last year, we were paying Bajaj in my place, and when we were paying the Bajaj, this year I got to know that a farmer negotiates in their local currency in what did they spend in French? Forgotten what their currency. At the end of the day, he realized he paid more, because as our currency is falling, their own is changing. As of this time last year, when I want to change, as of December this year, when I want to change money for my boys, because I pay them in Naira, and I went to change to their currency, the exchange rate was still 1 naira to 263, and 1 naira to something. As of present, I'm telling you, it is not like that again. It's changing, so it is not advisable. Honestly, it is not. Speaking from experience from my side. Now, under the raised bed system, what organic component manure can be mixed into the soil while making the beds, and what quantity per bed for optimum yield? Now, you see, if you go online to search this, okay, they spend safer. Thank you. Yes, the changes are the change. You know, even just 2 days ago or yesterday, a neighbor of mine still bought tractor from Benin Republic, and we changed 9 million. The guy said he wants 4 million safer, and we changed 9,300,000, and we changed 9,300,000 something to safer to get the tractor. Yeah, a tractor. We bought it from Benin Republic. We just bring it to. Okay, now what I'm trying to so you see, it's not advisable. Please, it's better to negotiate in Naira so that you know what you are getting into, because the lesser, I don't know how to put it, the more as our money is getting bad, their currency is you will need more Naira to convert to SEFA. You need more Naira to convert to SEFA to meet up with the request. Now, on the manual, when I read, you know, I told you, I'm a farmer, yes, and I'm sharing from my experience. If you are using manure from Market Gardener, there's a book called Market Gardener written by Jim Martin Fortier. It's one of the steps I use, like I told you. So he recommended 30 tons, 30,000 kg of manure for 1 acre of land. So I use my discretion to cut it. Okay, if I'm using 30 tons, so a bag of 50 kg, I will need about 8 kg on a raised bed. You know, we divide the beds, the 1 acre into belts. So you need to portion that and be able to understand what you need for your 1 acre land. So this is how we portion it. You need 30,000 kg, 30,000 kilo of manure. When we talk of manure, we are talking of, for me, what I use for manure is composted waste, as in cattle dung waste or poultry waste or any livestock animal waste. You know, by the time they dried up, this is how they become. They become as this. So this is what you need on your farm. And actually, once you add it to your farm 1 year, if you had it for 2 or 3 consequent years, you won't need manure again on that farm. I remember when I planted cassava on my farm, because I've been putting manure there, I've been planting vegetable. The day I put cassava like this, it performed extraordinarily. And they said I should quickly remove the cassava because it was doing very fine. Even the present one, someone was even asking me, are you putting irrigation on your cassava? I said no, but it's because the manure I've used consistently for my vegetables on the land. So that's the quantity you should use. So now the next question, is it necessary to plow the land with tractor if you are planning to use the raised bed system? Yes, it is good. You see, the essence of plowing, if you didn't plow and if you can get people to do manual, you can do it, but they will not loosen the soil very well. The essence of raised bed, if you start the class with me, the essence of raised bed, as I mentioned, is because we want a loose soil where your plant roots will quickly be able to go deep in. So you need a loose soil. So sometimes when they do manual for you without plowing also losing the topsoil for you. Then when you now use raised bed and you do the raised bed, it will just heap up the soil. It means you have a better loose soil. But if you don't plow and you use raised bed, sometimes they just heap them together and it will still be hard and solid. And so the roots might still not get the better result that you want. So please, yes, it is good to plow when you are using raised bed. I do that. I first plow, then I start asking my boys to do the raised bed for me when I'm using raised bed on my farm. And the yield are quite good. You can read more about it. Raised bed is one of the best system of farming for you to get high yield on your crop. And plant population, they help your plant population. So please, is there any other question? I think this is the last question I picked from the Telegram group. Then there's a class I learned is missing. I will make up, we'll make up for it. I will get the class back. Maybe if it's an additional, I don't want to jump with another class, but I'll put the class back so that we can have it and some other extras. So please, is there any other question outside this? I think that's the last question I picked from the Telegram group. Like I said, if you have any question, just drop it there. See, it's good. Most of us are busy. We might not be able to stay 24 hours online. And then that's why we made the idea on Saturday we come together like this. Please, if you have question, please drop it. If you are here, we can attend to it before we move away. Just wait some time for question. If there's no question, then question, please. So it means we understand everything. Don't worry, we are going to get into tomato, into pepper planting, into cassava. We are going to get to different crops when you get so busy. We are getting to different crops as we are going. So please, if there's no question, then we'll call the class a day. I hope. Okay. Thank you for joining us. The class is okay. There's a question. Thanks for the answers. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. If you have question at any time, please just drop it in the Telegram group. We come to it, please. So if there's no question, we can call the class a day for this. Okay, I will post the link for if you missed the beginning.